Okay, this is Crypto CJ's Trade of the Day, the Monday night Zoom edition. So welcome aboard to everybody who's watching live and on the recording. We had a very eventful weekend. Saturday was crazy. And then we have the rise of the DOGE coin, hence my background today. So let's go to the Bitcoin chart. We'll talk about that first, as we usually do. All right, can everybody see my Bitcoin 1 hour chart? All right, thumbs up, good. And Saturday night, while I was Netflix and chilling, Bitcoin took a huge dump right here. Check out this candle. It went from 2 in the morning that day on the 17th, over 60, all the way down to 50, 51, 18% drop. So that was dramatic. I sold some things. I took a couple losses, freed up some cash, and bought some more positions at the bottom of this when I saw some signs of recovery. And then Bitcoin had the audacity to dip some more on Sunday. So I'm not sure what it's going to do. I'm not trusting it right now. Some people I know and trust think that Bitcoin is going to test this lower range here, this 51,000, between 50 and 52. That the prior test was insufficient, and we're due for some dips and some consolidation around this level until we get over that and start pumping up again. So you see some black lines on my chart. This is my rising wedge I've drawn, and assuming that our consolidation phase doesn't last too long, this looks is showing me that we could have a 70,000 Bitcoin by early June, first week of June or so. Not financial advice, just what the chart showing me. So that's what I see in Bitcoin. I think we'll have a temporary consolidation, and then we'll hit that next level. Probably have some resistance around between 57 and 60, then punch through that and head towards 70. So could be an eventful late spring, early summer for Bitcoin, and also with the altcoins too. The Bitcoin dominance didn't really do much. So we're still down here in the Bitcoin dominance of the low 50s, 52. If it drops below 50, that could be another indication of alt season. We had the perfect situation for a while when it was around 60, and then the alts were going crazy at the same time. I think we were all making money then, but with this recent dump, I've had to reallocate how I do some things. I also have 10 buy orders, low buy orders in Binance now, waiting for another drop. So we'll see if any of those pan out, or if I'm just sitting here not doing anything for a couple of days. So that's overall how I see the Bitcoin and the markets going over the weekend, the last couple of days. So anybody want to share any of their opinions on the subject? Don't be shy. Otherwise, I'll probably move over to Altcoin Alert. All right. So let's go to Altcoin Alert. I've taken a look at a couple of their suggestions, and I've got Doge poison ready to talk about. I mean, the volume of this coin is nearly double Bitcoin. So I guess we have to take this puppy seriously. Oh, pun intended. Anyway, this coin hit a recent high early this morning, but it wasn't its all-time high. On the day chart, its all-time high is up here around 45 cents. So we're currently just hanging around near the high. I wouldn't buy necessarily in here. I might, actually last week I had a trade with this and I used my fib extension. I did a video about that. Let's go to the hour chart. That's probably how I would approach getting into Doge again. You guys might remember the fib extension is over here on TradingView. It's not really as complicated as it sounds. Just try to find a range that looks good. I think this range here looks pretty good. Click here once. Here's a recent high, click there, then back down. Doesn't matter where you are, left to right. Just line it up with that first click. There's my third click. Make this bigger so we can see it. All right, so I'm looking for, so what most traders do is they give this 1.272 level. You know, Patrick brought up during the week in an email, you know, why not go to the 1.618 level? Obviously that's riskier. And the 2 point, you know, that's a double the value. So 1.272 would be 4.48 cents. It's above the all-time high. Got in at the current level. Just going to estimate it here right around 39.40 cents. You know, potential profit to the 1.272 is about 20%. Into the 1.618 is 37%. But this coin has no fundamentals. I mean, I don't know that it has any uses other than payment for stuff at Dallas Mavericks basketball games. But short of that, I'm not aware of any use for this coin. But it has a passionate community. They've pumped up the price on some social media sites, including TikTok. I'm not above writing that kind of thing. So if I see, you know, some trending in the 5 or 15-minute charts, if I were to see a dip sequence like this, I might try to get back in. And you know, on this dip sequence, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you catch it here to the SMA line, it's 13%. Would have been out, you know, in 1 hour with, you know, 13%. That's a great day trade. So that's how I see Doge in the short term. Anybody have any questions on Dogecoin? Okay, let's see what else Altcoin Alert has for us. Holochain or HOT. I've been trading this off and on for a few weeks. Looks like it just jumped above Dogecoin. Let's click on and see what the sentiment is. You might remember, for those of you in Altcoin Alert, the white line is the sentiment score, and then it's charted against the actual score on Holochain. So we've got a really nice, you know, significant distance between these two values. So that's usually something that makes it worth further investigation. I do have the hot chart open, and let's check out the day chart. Yeah, this hit an all-time high of a little over 3 cents earlier in the month. It's been working its way down, but it has, you know, had some nice action. So this is something I'd be very interested in. If I go to my 5-minute chart, I'm looking for an entry point. It looks like it's in a 1, 2, 3 dip. So, yeah, if you're wondering what this blue rectangle is, this is a Fibonacci retracement value. It's advanced charting, but this is a good spot to be. It's roughly halfway between the all-time high, or the high that I've charted, and the recent low. So it's about a 50% drop. Usually a good place to get in. So we've got the you know, the squeeze here, and that's bubbling out. 1 dip, 2 dips, a big crash here, 3rd dip, a pretty nice candle coming back up. I like this a lot. So if I didn't have all these open orders on Binance for other coins, I'd be interested in this. I might buy this anyway and cancel one of those. Not that that's financial advice, but anyway, from the current candle to the SMA is over 5%. That's really good. And then to these, to this resistance here that I'm seeing, you know, 7.88%. More resistance here. Also right about where the top of the Bollinger Band is, about 9%. So these are nice targets. So I'm going to cancel that one, and I think I'm going to get in on this. So any questions on this while I'm placing an order? So I think I'm going to go with the medium action here, right above the top of the Bollinger Band. 0.0165 is my exit. And I'm going to set an alert for about 10%. So this is going to tell me that minus 10%. So if that alert goes off, I'll probably ladder buy into a second position. But the way it's moving, maybe I'll be out of this and by the end of the evening, or even by the end of this the Zoom. That would be ideal. But anyway, so that's what so I am in hot. Let's see if Altcoin Alert has anything else. I looked at this ETN coin. I hadn't seen this before. It's not on Binance. It is on KuCoin. And the chart action is pretty similar to what I just showed you on hot. And then it hit. I haven't done fibs on this one, Fibonacci retracements, but just looking at it, I can tell that. I'll throw it on there real quick. This is an advanced way to, that's the wrong one. Sorry. That's the one I want. This is an advanced way to evaluate retracements, which is my favorite way to trade. So we can tell just from this range that this is already in the 5618, the sweet spot. So this is something we might want to check out. I've done a video about this last week. It's about 12 minutes long, crash course on Fibonacci retracements. If you're interested, you might want to check that out. If you're very new to this, I'd probably wait 6 months to 9 months before doing that, but just want to give you a heads up to some of the things I do, especially when you see some of the colors and the patterns on my charts. So that's the day chart. Let's see if we have an entry point for ETN. Okay, this is interesting. It spiked up here. Got a Bart Simpson head. Yeah, that's actually a thing. So sort of like a head and shoulders. RSI looks like that, man. Anyway, yeah, I would look for a more pronounced dip sequence or evidence of a recovery, probably punching above the SMA line. This is the SMA line here, this pink line, before I get in this. So let's see, let's look at, is there anybody who wants to do a particular sort on Altcoin Alert while I have it up? You guys are quiet tonight. All right.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. I don't want to type it. Put in CKB.
Hey, Brooklyn.
What's going on, JJ?
Just doing my thing, man. All right, you want to look at CKB, a particular coin?
Thank you very much, by the way, for everything you do.
Sure, glad to do it. All right. Well, that's not quite what I meant, but okay. If I'm looking for a particular coin, I don't see it right away. Then I'll go to my ratings feed. I can find particular coins that way.
I'm trying to see like how low it's gonna go is what I'm looking for.
Okay.
It's been declining for a while, like since the drop. Before that, actually.
All right, showing 60 on the AA score, not a great score. I can open up a chart real quick and look at it. Oh, we're done with this ETN, so finance chart. Let's see how recent I have. I did fibs back in earlier part of the month. It's still in that, still in the same range. So yeah, a lot of coins have done this. They hit highs in late March, early April, and then they've lost about half of their value. So this one's drifted down into the 50618, which is the middle of this range. So this is usually where we're looking to buy if you're a longer term trader or swing trader. Sometimes I use this kind of value for a day trade. And it's got a really nice potential entry point here because it's going in a 1, 2, 3 dip sequence. We've got our squeeze here, and it's bubbling out. Got I'm not sure if we count this one or not. We've got at least 2 dips here, and then a recovery. If you can catch this one, I'd say down here, that would be a pretty nice entry on a day trade. If you're more of a swing term trader, you might want to look for some candle action going up and then make your purchase and see if you can ride this thing back up. You know, this high here, you know, yesterday would be a, you know, this would be a really nice swing trade, 19%. If it takes you a couple days, you know, that's good stuff in my view. So yeah, this has potential. So all right. Any questions on this, Brooklyn, or anybody else? All right, I'm going to move over to iCoinPro. This is the other source of information I use for day trading. And then if you guys have received my emails, you've received the 1, 2, 3 dip training. I've already talked about it a couple times in this video. That's my favorite sequence to trade. It's easy, it's reliable. I think it hits 80 to 90%. You take ladder buying into consideration, it's probably in the mid to high 90s as far as you know, efficacy. So I like it a lot. We've already looked at Dogecoin. Flamingo I've traded before. I kind of like this one. So let's check this out. I've sorted this by the average low to SMA. The low is a 24-hour low of the coin, and the percentage is to the SMA line, which is the pink line you see between the Bollinger Bands on my charts. So I'll show you that in a moment. Let's look at the Flamingo chart. The drop-down menu gives me the option of opening a trading view window, which I will do. And it opens up to the 5-minute chart. And is Bitcoin dipping on us? What's going on? Bitcoin's dipping a little bit. It's dropped about $500 in the last hour or so. Not a huge dip, but just enough to put some of these alts in a dip sequence. All right, on the day chart with Flamingo, $1.17 is the high, so it's got room to move back there. Let's see, how long has that been on Binance? Yeah, quite a while, long enough, like 7 months. That's an eternity in crypto. And again, we've got the squeeze and then starting to bow out, the bubble out. Got 2 dips. Wait for a third, could be good. Let's say you catch it down here. The SMA line on a 5-minute chart is 11%. That's really good. So yeah, we're lucking into some dip trades tonight, guys. So this might be one you guys want to check out, Flamingo FLM. Let's see what other exchanges it's on.
CJ, one quick question.
Okay.
If you go onto Flamingo 5-minute chart at 6:45 tonight, April 19, 6:45. Sorry, 4:25. Is that considered the first dip though, as it's breaking out of that Bollinger Band on that one candle?
It's a good question because it's squeezier here. It's bowing out a little bit, and then you
Yep.
get the more pronounced bubbling here.
Yeah.
It's an art more than a science.
It is a bit bubbled where the first dip comes in, but it still comes from that squeeze.
You know, I would probably not count that one. I would probably count this one here at 1650 as my first dip. And then this one here is my second, and now it looks like it's going into a third. Since it's not real well pronounced,
Yep.
like this one, like this sequence here is much better.
Yep.
You know, that's really what I'm looking for. I might wait for a fourth.
Okay.
You know, you can't go wrong usually waiting a little bit. You might miss a few from time to time, but plus we got to keep an eye on Bitcoin. I've got, you know, my other screen over here with Bitcoin. Let's just bring it up. On the 5-minute chart, you know, it's a pretty big drop here. So I really wouldn't trade anything until you know, this resolves. This might be going into the crashing down to 51 like I talked about earlier in the show. So I'm rethinking my hot trade now. But anyway, I try not to totally limit myself in one approach. So, but yeah, that's you see Bitcoin do something like this. Yeah, one of my limit orders was filled. So you just don't trade anything until this resolves. All right, so that's all I have on Flamingo. Any other questions? All right, let's look. Well, this might affect the rest of what we do tonight if Bitcoin's gonna, well, we just got a green candle, so that might be the end of it. We'll see. It's hanging at 54.8 right about now. I got a green candle here.
Well, that could be considered to be a dip sequence right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I almost never trade Bitcoin because you know, it's not enough money. You know, if I caught this, you know, it's 1.84%. I just showed you on Flamingo, you could take the same move and get, you know,
Good point.
that. So with that in mind, I don't trade Bitcoin very often, you know, as a spot trade. I obviously look at it a lot because it has such an effect on the other coins, and I do trade, you know, the leverage tokens, Bitcoin up, Bitcoin down on Binance, and bear and bull on FTX. That's a 2x to 3x leverage. Again, a little more advanced. If you're new, you probably shouldn't mess with leverage, but it's a good transition to full-blown leverage. So if you day traded for 6 months or so, it's a good transition. Okay, so let's look at maybe one more on Buddy Coin Crawler. Oh yeah, I wanted to look at this one, DNT. And then I'm usually looking for 5% or higher in this column. And then my volume, you know, probably 10 to 20 million or more. That's why I'm excluding some of these others. This must be new. TKO token, 619 million. And I don't trade new coins very often unless I can catch them right at the listing through you know, Altcoin Alert SIG dev. And even then, my record on that's kind of spotty. But like here, this Neo USDC 4 million, I'm not interested in that. But you know, this is 9 million on USDT. That's good volume there. I'd be interested in looking at that. But I want to look at one more, and I like DNT. So let's look at that one. Yeah, it's going through a dip sequence too. It's not as pronounced as what we saw with a couple of the others. And yeah, this really shot up earlier today. So my fibs are not current, but I can still work with it. So we got the squeeze here. It's starting to bubble out. Probably start here with my dip sequence. 1. That didn't punch through. So 2, 3. I might wait for a 4th on something like this. And then on Bitcoin, see this long wick here. It's rejecting going up. Now it just turned red. So this might be in a more prolonged sequence, or it might just chill out here for a while. But yeah, when you're day trading, you're looking at 5-minute charts, and sometimes you're just watching them to see what they're going to do before you make your move. It can be inconvenient if you got something to do. What do you do in this situation? Let's say I want to go watch a Suns game or something like that. They're playing Milwaukee right now, and and let's say I want to make this trade. I could set an alert to let me know where I think it might hit, or I could just make a low buy order like I have on a couple coins already. I just picked up a win, WIN, on Binance at a very low buy, so we'll see if that pans out. Could plunge lower, don't know. That's the downside of that strategy. It might be better to just set alerts. And of course, I find the downside of the alert approach is that when Bitcoin drops, they all go off at once. So I got 20 alerts going off. That's no fun. Then I have to make a decision on which ones I want to respond to and trade. So, all right, well, that's about all I have for my iCoinPro and Altcoin Alerts. If you guys want me to look at specific coins or talk about other issues related to day trading, we can do that. Let's see if I have anything in the chat. All right.
Did you want to check Neo?
Okay, we can look at that. I have a chat open. Brett's asking about time frames. As a day trader, do you trade less than the 1-hour time frames? Almost always. So I will look at the day chart like you've seen me do several times tonight to get an overall picture. I will sometimes look at the hour. I probably do half the time. If it's a coin I'm familiar with, I probably won't. If it's new to me, I haven't looked at it in a few days, I'll check the hour. And then I go to the 5-minute chart, and that's where I'm really looking for the patterns, the dips and the squeezes and things like that. The entry points. We always enter the charts on the 5-minute. We always enter a trade on the 5-minute charts. And he's also asking about the 1, 2, 3 dip training. Do you keep your Bollinger Bands at 50 for all time frames? Yes. The default on TradingView, what he's talking about is the value for this Bollinger Band here. If I right click and do my settings, it's going to show the length. It's a length of time actually is 50 days. The default's 20. That's a more aggressive way to look at it. 50 is more conservative, longer time period. So that's why they do it that way. iCoinPro is about as conservative as you can be for day trading, which is regarded as very risky. So, and Brooklyn likes it that we talked about as CKB. So, okay, any other coins you guys want to talk about? Oh yeah, we were gonna go go look at Neo. Let's look at Neo. All right, the day chart. I haven't updated this in quite a while, which means I haven't traded this coin. We hit a high here earlier today, 133, and it's dropped quite a bit from there. One-hour chart. It's dropped 24% in about a day. It's your basic correction on after hitting an all-time high. If we want to trade this, got some resistance here. Dip sequence. These are ones that are concerning when they go from above the Bollinger Band, they just crash down below it. So where I guess our first dip's going to be here. And we even got an oversold on the RSI down here below 30. Yeah, this one's intriguing. I'd probably keep an eye on Bitcoin to see what it's doing. Bitcoin probably had something to do with this. It's probably a bit exaggerated on NEO because it recently hit an all-time high, so people are taking profits. But if it turns around, get some maybe 3 or 4 candles heading up, I'd probably go like to this resistance here, 7%. Current Bollinger Band levels right around 10%. And resistance here, 16%. So that's how I see NEO. Any questions on NEO? All right.
Well, this is very similar to a stock market chart. You could have a stock that's really doing well, but if the whole market is sinking, in this case because of Bitcoin crashing, then the value goes down.
That's true. That's true. These charts are, candles are common in, charting for stocks, Forex, probably commodities, all the disciplines, all the financial exchanges. So a lot of the principles are the same. Once I learned some of the basics on iCoinPro and another day trading program I was going through, Connie, a lot of you guys know, introduced me to some candle charting. I mean, what the candles actually mean, and reading those patterns. And I went through those for a couple months, and a little over a year ago. And he was teaching mostly stock charting, but the principles are the same. Just crypto is way more volatile. So, and it's really all we have is the charting and news, because NEO isn't putting out dividends or earnings or anything like that. It's just its value is mostly perception. That's true of almost all the coins we're trading. So anyway, okay. Well, at this point then, I'll throw it open to any questions you guys have, anything you want to talk about in the crypto universe.
Yeah, I want to know what's up with the other resilient coins. I know DOGE has got no fundamentals, but what about all the other coins that are doing their own thing when Bitcoin's falling? Like, what's their deal?
Well, most of the coins do follow Bitcoin. Doge has been somewhat resilient, but I can't really think of, well, actually, let's see. Altcoin Alert. So are you talking about this group right here, Brooklyn, where they've gone up, double digits today, where, Bitcoin has mostly gone sideways? I mean, that's,
yeah, I mean, I guess so. I mean, I just want to know, we know that Doge has no fundamental. What about the other ones? Are they the same too? They don't have fundamentals either, and then everything's just driven by social media and sentiment? No,
Doge is unique in that regard. I mean, I don't know what all these coins do, but most of them have some kind of financial function. It's a payment system. It connects, other payment systems, other blockchains, and there are blockchains that have, specific purposes like VeChain,
Yeah, no, most definitely.
Chainlink connects other ones. And so, but I don't know what they all do. I'm not sure if it's practical for any of us to know all of them. I know, Bryce and Pizza Mind from CryptNation check out that kind of thing. Justin Clark from iCoinPro could care less. So he just trades the charts.
I hear you. Thank you very much.
Mhm. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of us subscribe to Altcoin Alert to get some of that news and to respond to it. So I do, especially new listings and certain partnerships, I think are very valuable, valuable news to have. But to each his own on that regard.
I sent in a lot of questions to the guy that writes articles on TradingView.
Mm-hmm.
And the bottom line is that the reason that the 1, 2, 3 dip seems to work and why the Fibonacci at 1.27 seems to work is everybody believes it'll work.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah.
There's a belief that's been taught for like 15 years. So
Yeah.
people look for that.
Yeah, I mean, if all of us are traders are learning similar information, we're going to make things happen based on that information and our strategies. So, and I think that's way better than just throwing darts at a board, just winging it. But yeah, I do agree with you, Patrick. It's self-fulfilling prophecy in a lot of situations, and I talk about that. I talk about this is how other traders view this. For the 1.272 on the fib extender I showed you earlier. So that's a good point. You had a question in an email about ladder buying, didn't you?
Yes. You, when you describe your ladder buying, it's because you buy a position and then the value goes down. So you buy a lower position, making a ladder. And then when the price comes back up, you say you make twice as much.
Right.
And I was arguing that you only make the same amount because you don't make a profit off of the first point.
No. Okay, let's check that out. So let's say I buy this coin here, Neo, at the top here. I think it's going to pump up and I buy it here and I'm wrong. So mark that up here. So I buy here at 120. And then I buy again down here at about 100. So
Same amount.
same amount. Say $100 here, $100 here.
Right. Now it goes back to 100 and you sell.
Right. So
I
now
mean,
I've got
100.
20 some percent profit.
Right.
And if I enter it on my spreadsheet, it'll show me 10% for each position. So what happens is I break even on the first position, I make 20% on the second position, and that's 10% between the two. So in my reporting, that's a 10% profit. But I understand what you're saying. I could say, I could break it up and say this is 20% and this is 0, but that's no fun. So, I say it's 10% on 2 positions. So.
That's almost cooking the books.
But it's the same amount of money. If I put 200,
That's true.
100 on this one and 100 on this one,
That's true. I understand.
same amount of money. That's what I mean by double. So
Yeah.
All right. And for those of you who are new, ladder buying is a strategy to help save a trade when it goes against you. I prefer that over stop losses. So you have to protect yourself in some way from this volatile market when it crashes down. And I'm in some ladder buys now from trades that went against me due to the dump on Saturday. So some coins I bought on Thursday and Friday went, upside down like this. Then I caught them low on Saturday, and some of those are in profit a little bit, but they haven't come all the way back. iCoinPro teaches a much more conservative approach of this, that you would buy at the maybe 2 or 3% drops and do multiple purchases until it came back. And then sometimes even increasing those amounts and getting out with a 1% profit overall. And that's fine. But in this bull market, I think it's leaving money on the table. So what I usually try to do is get back to my original purchase price on a ladder buy, or at least pretty close to it. The halfway point is going to be right about here. So if I ended up exiting both positions above this position, I'm still in profit. So I hate losses. Hate them, hate them, hate them.
So CJ, this is Steve Wentz. Would you then on that two-step ladder buy you just shown right there, would you, if it got back up to that top circle, you'd sell both of them then?
Yes.
Okay, all right. Because let's say you bought that, wouldn't you be expecting to try to get a little bit percentage profit out of that and leave that? Or just once you get back even, you say, I'm done?
It's a good point. And in the trades I made on Thursday and Friday that dropped considerably on Saturday when Bitcoin dropped, I did set some of my sell orders above my initial purchase price, based on my feeling that, and what I was seeing on the charts, that there was quite a bit of resistance showing above that figure, which is what encouraged me to make the trade in the first place.
Right.
But yeah, this is the safer approach, and most of the time I do it. I'm either setting my sell order at where I bought it, slightly above or slightly below, depending on the new information I have when I'm making the second purchase. So,
Okay, thank you.
and if I'm stuck in it for a few days, I might go and lower it again from here, somewhere in between. I don't like being in anything more than a few days.
And in a past videotape, we were talking about the idea that you would be present watching how far it's rising, and you could cancel your sell order if it kept going up. And then when it starts to fall.
If you're live trading, like Patrick says, and you see, and if I see this going up, if I see strong candle action, I might cancel that sell order and watch it for a while, see what it does.
Right.
I can also use an OCO or a trailing stop loss if it's more advanced, exit strategies to preserve profit and see if it'll go up. But it depends on the exchange you're on if you have those options. So, but I just did a video last week about OCO. One cancels the other, and that's where you can set a stop loss and a profit. So, and then whatever order gets filled, the other one gets canceled.
But that's for a specific exchange, right?
Yeah, Binance has it. I think FTX has it. And there was one other exchange that had it, but yeah, let's see. Let me check out the chat. Brett's asking. Yeah, Brett's asking, are we looking for Bitcoin to move back towards the middle of the Bollinger Band for the altcoins to start moving up again? So
Ooh.
So we have some recovery here that drops some more. But yeah, that's a beautiful 1, 2, 3 dip there.
Compared to the dip on the far left.
Yeah. Well, that's a multiple.
I just meant the value. It's at the same dollar value. Yeah, right there. Significant.
That one started here. This one started. We're 56.6 at 245 Pacific. Drop 4%, about 3 hours.
Yeah, it's only 4%.
See if we can hold this, or if we can keep dropping. All righty. We're at about 45 minutes. Do we have any other questions? All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and end the recording here and then hang around a little while after.